You're watching Drakewing Gaming. Enjoy the video.
Hey guys and gals, Never here from Drakewing Gaming. It's something about Twitter, the Gaming Drag. Today I'm coming back at you another Let's Play episode of Beasts of the Thorns. So let's go ahead and jump right back in, shall we? Alarm chain, you were up, and let's go. Alright. I took a plate, inverted the box of beef tartare onto the plate, dug a small groove in the top, cracked 3 quail eggs into the groove, ground a generous amount of black pepper on it, and placed it in front of Darwin. The iguana... That's not an iguana, that is a hyena. The hyena couldn't wait and actually tried to eat it directly with his mouth straight away, so I hastened to block his muzzle with my hand. He snarled at me, baring his teeth. Table manners! Handing him a spoon, Darwin reluctantly picked it up and ate. He grumbled vaguely as he ate. Next time you do that, I'll kill you. You better make sure you can find the tartare beef in the kitchen before you start pontificating. Darwin grunted unconfidently and proceeded to bury his head in the beef tartare and eat it. I ignored the hyena and started preparing our lunch. Though my culinary skills aren't as good as Bjorn's, after living alone for so long, making a few sandwiches is no big deal. I picked up 4 raw hamburger patties made by Bjorn and a friend, and fried them in a pan until golden brown. While the patties were frying, I sliced the purple onions and soaked them in water. Once the patties were cooked, I removed them from the pan and let them rest while I heated the bread in the same pan to absorb the delicious juices from the patties. Finally, I assembled the ingredients, placing the purple onions and sesame leaves on top of the hot patties and cheese slices, then adding a squeeze of yellow mustard and oil and vinegar dressing. A simple meal was complete. I stepped back to admire my masterpiece. Not bad at all. Although I don't have a tongue and can't confirm the taste, as long as the proportions are correct, theoretically there shouldn't be any mistakes. Then I saw a dirty paw reaching for my sandwich, and I immediately flicked it away. Hey! It's not for you. I'm just helping you taste it. No thanks. I wonder who just told me they can survive on catnip. The hyena grumbled angrily, muttering incomprehensible words. Then get me more food. There's not enough beef. I turned to see what stock Bjorn had left. The big guy was passionate about cooking, and the fridge was filled with all sorts of half-prepared dishes, but unfortunately Darwin wouldn't even touch them, let alone cook them himself. He must have been spoiled by Bjorn. Here's the saucy hand-tossed pork, heated up and ready to eat. I pulled out a box of hand-ripped pork roasted with spices, a time-consuming dish, and Bjorn spent all the time and energy he should have been spending on schoolwork. Make it quick. Mentally, I blanketed the hyena and heated the pork in the oven, which is a lot and should allow Chris and Amore to have some as well. At that moment, the kitchen door opened and a hungry Chris and Amore walked in. Smells great. I didn't expect you, Hess, to have improved your cooking skills as well. I'm just processing Bjorn's cooking. Your sandwiches are on the table, and there's meat to eat later. That should have been all mine, Darwin grumbled discontentedly. It's for 3. There's enough for everyone. Chris grabbed the sandwich and took a bite. This is really good. I'll try. Amore ate up his sandwich, too. I took the heated sauced hand-ripped pork out of the oven, put it in a bowl topped with a generous amount of onions and bologna, and brought it to the table. Darwin tried to bury his face right into the bowl again to chow down on the pork and was forced to use utensils when I shoved a fork in his face, reluctantly. Why doesn't Bjorn just become a chef? His cooking skills would guarantee him a job. Indeed, he did a great job with his caramelized onion dip. And these proportions are adequate. I'm looking at the greasy onion sauce, which uses an unknown amount of butter to caramelize the onions. Remembering Ostrom's warnings this morning, it seemed like I should start preparing a high-protein, low-fat menu for everyone, but almost all Bjorn's cooking in the fridge is healing food, calorie-rich and nutrient-poor. I'll have to discuss it with the bear sometime and see. Darwin finished his meal and burped contentedly. It was obvious that he loved Bjorn's cooking, but he still couldn't spare any time from his meaningless job to eat, fearing that people wouldn't realize how dedicated he was to the Brotherhood. All right, I'm going back to work. The hyena casually wiped his mouth, the sauce staining the fur on the back of his hand, and returned to his work without looking back. Chris licked his lips and ate all his food, too. Then he turned his attention to Amore's pork. His appetite was always strong after continuous high-intensity exercise, and he looked at the pork and then at Amore. He looks at the pork and then at Amore, unconsciously showing his doggy eyes, and Amore gets a little stressed out by his stare. He really can't hide his food cravings. He really can't hide his food cravings, but the oven was already cold, and it took time to heat it up, so I had to give Chris a packet of jerky to snack on. Free food always tastes extra good. Okay. Alright, sorry about that, y'all. Alright, we're back. Okay. Then I'll have to work a little harder to avoid getting expelled. I hope the honeymoon lasts longer. I'm not used to it yet. Well, we're about to go on stage. Bjorn said it's the day after tomorrow. So, you got a partner? Chris interrupted our conversation with a loud, contrived cough. Hess, do you have a drink? Jerky's making me thirsty. I took a 2-liter bottle of milk out of the refrigerator without a good reason and heaved it in front of Chris. He looked at me with a sad face, as if he was worried that I was angry, but I didn't want to talk to him. Amore saw that something was wrong and changed the subject. Are you guys free this afternoon? There's a trial event for the video gaming club. I figured since Ostrom is allowing us to join other clubs, we might as well go to the event and see what it's like. It might be fun. So, water time. By the way, the NGC 5236 Music Club event that Chris was interested in was also nearby. I didn't know it was famous until later. That is not a catchy name for a club. They usually go by another name, South Windmill Star Orchestra. Oh, there you go. I really like their vintage electronic style. They not only have guitars and jazz drums, but they also have saxophones, trombones, monophones, and a wealth of other instruments, and I've been dreaming of joining them since a long time ago. So, are you coming along? Chris had a hesitant expression on his face, and in the middle of the day he declined with difficulty. I'm sorry, I can't go. I still have to train. What training was important enough to make you give up your favorite music? I will never give up on music. I just put it on the back burner for now. Ostrom and Chris are plotting a mysterious conspiracy about the first hunt and have no time for us. No. So, tell me why the first hunt is so important to you. Chris wanted to say something. I can't say. I have an appointment with Ostrom. Amore's quizzical gaze went back and forth between Chris and me, surprised that I was using such a sharp attitude toward Chris. It's okay if you guys are busy. There's always next time. Give me some time to think about it. I need to clean up the kitchen first. Thanks for the lunch. You're welcome. If you guys change your minds, I'll be online at the Honey Wine Lounge for a while. Yes, thank you, Amore. The two men bid me farewell and left the kitchen, and I was left sulking. Although Chris knew that I didn't like to be kept in the dark or excluded, but I'd never been treated so openly by Chris before, and I had a bad feeling about it. And Chris always comes across as mature and reliable and never lets anyone know he's hurting, so when he's in trouble, he instead puts on a calm demeanor. Whenever he hides something, nothing good happens. My crisis radar won't stop ringing. I'm bored with wiping down the table and cleaning the kitchenware. Anyone who likes to cook cares if their kitchen utensils are treated with care, and since Bjorn graciously lets me use his, I have to make them look like new. But when I finish cleaning the kitchen, the feeling of unease returned to me. I really shouldn't be alone. Bad thoughts keep flooding my empty brain. Take action. Just worrying won't help. Should I respect Chris's decision and let him continue training and go with Amore to a club experience? Or should I take Ostrom's advice and pull him away from training to change his mood and maybe find some clues? Damn. Okay, that is, Alright. I'm gonna save that right there. I'll say, y'all in the comments, let me know which is the best choice. I should try to trust Chris after all. We're best friends. Chris has never okay, let's see. Should I respect Chris's decision and let him continue training on the club experience, or should I take Ostrom's advice and pull him away from training to change his mood and maybe find some clues? Let's try that. We'll get to spend time with Chris. I sighed. Chris had never worried me like this before. Usually it was the other way around. I was the one who was worried. I had a fairly repressed childhood. My parents placed a lot of emphasis on academic performance, but I usually didn't perform as well as my brother. Okay. At first, my parents would try to force me to improve my grades through punishment, but they gave up after junior high and decided to ignore me. Their emotional neglect made me feel awful. Sometimes after school, I didn't want to go home, so I'd walk alone to the outskirts until nightfall to avoid facing my parents. Back then, Chris always drove his second-hand car, searching for me on every road and every alley. One time I went too far and got too tired. Falling asleep by the industrial road 2 towns away from my hometown, Chris found me only at midnight, and it was the first time he hit me, but also the first time he hugged me and cried. After that incident, I never ran away from home again. Even though I didn't like my family, I couldn't let Chris worry. I owe him a lot. But now it's my turn to do something. We're fragile individuals, and only by supporting each other can we be strong. I'm sure Chris is in trouble, but he always plays the role of the big brother, making him used to being strong and not wanting me to worry, unable to extend that hand that needs help. I closed the door of the pantry, making sure Bjorn's canned goods were neatly arranged, and I stared blankly. Why am I so powerless? Why don't I have the power to protect? I raised my hand, watching the light spill through my fingers. I don't ask to grasp all of the world. I just want to hold on to the daily life with my friends. Such a humble wish is faltering in this turbulent world. Power I've never wanted. Power. I've never wanted power so much. I want claws to hunt. I want teeth to fend off enemies. I want to help my friends. I've decided to ask Lucas for guidance, to find a path for me in the jungle called the Outlands. Perhaps in the end I can find my own weapon. I turned off the light. I couldn't waste time on Bjorn's cozy kitchen anymore. There were things to do. I walked down to the basement, but Bjorn and his bear squad had already left, and the only lonesome light shone on Chris's frustrated shoulders. The basement looked ridiculously empty with just him. He sat on a long bench draped in a towel, his head hanging down low. The floor was speckled with traces of his dripping sweat, and it looked like he just finished his workout. Chris isn't as lazy as I am. He keeps fit even at his busiest times, so he has a high tolerance for exhausting work. But now he looks physically exhausted. I don't know the manner in which he carries out his training, but it seems to be very intense. I can't figure out why he's pushing himself so hard. We've come to the Outlands and joined the Brotherhood, so as long as the hunt goes well, we should be able to coast along and get recommendations for a good job. Not to mention that Chris has at least 2 more years to go, so there's no need to take out the results the day after tomorrow. Alright, y'all, I gotta cut this video a little bit short. Gotta get ready for work. Let me know if I've picked the right choice, please. Anyway, thank y'all so much for watching. I love you all, and I'll see y'all in the next video. Bye-bye!